for a bit, and that was, yeah, his recycling. Yep. Winter, when you're still though, of all things you don't want to do, it, I mean, just the cold, you know. the temperature.
I'd rather go to Georgia.
If that happened
Yes.
to me, I wouldn't make it.
Because you know what, you spend all night walking and praying that you get to walk, because if you stop, you know, you simply freeze in place, because you're just used to the warmth, you know, after the heat tabs, I'm
I'm still in
fine.
Lewis, so he's in.
Oh, he's in Stone
the
Washington.
Coldest, wettest place.
All right, then.
We're live, guys.
Oh, we gotta keep going, okay.
George is not a friendly place to be for the weather.
So you get a pen over there you can throw me?
I can go right in one.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, yeah, one. Okay.
You guys have a chance to look at it?
You guys call the meeting to order?
Not yet. I'd like to call this meeting to order at 7:35 PM. Seating of alternates. Let's see. You're
That was
the,
the last time.
wait a minute,
We're both alternates.
you are, okay. Steve and Steve are being seated for Tom Sweet and Brian. Any additions to the agenda?
None.
Nothing. Moving on, approval of minutes from January 5th, 2023. Look good?
Yes.
Can I get a motion to accept?
Make a motion to accept the minutes from the last meeting.
Steve seconded it. Thank you. All in favor?
Right?
Aye. Passes unanimous. Audience of citizens,
Amy Parody.
you're for the, You got-
Ridge Avenue.
you got the floor.
Oh, I thought you guys had business first.
No,
No.
number 5, audience of citizens.
Okay,
Your names for the record?
Huh?
Your names for the record?
Tammy Parody.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, Tammy,
Parody.
Raymond and Tammy Parody,
Okay,
Little Bridge Avenue.
thank you.
I came in Tuesday night and filed a formal written complaint about my neighbor filling in the drainage on the side of my house that runs the whole length from the wires all the way around Oral Hall. He's actively blocking the pipe, trying to block the pipe. And if he does that, if he succeeds, he is gonna flood that whole end of the neighborhood out. There's a pipe under that driveway that's supposed to let the water run through, and he is actively dumping stuff in it.
Now you're talking about the driveway that runs like from his property, like right towards your house? Is that what you're talking about?
One side of the house.
Yeah,
Parallels your house,
Oral
okay.
Hall Road's on one side, but then he's got a little road that cuts up to his house. Underneath his road, there's a pipe. A pipe was installed. so the water could run freely. And he's actively coming down with a machine. He come down Sunday and he backbladed enough of, or Saturday, this weekend anyway, he backbladed enough of material just to throw in there and block it off. And if he does that, I'm gonna get flooded out, Borough Hall is gonna get flooded out, Paul McGuire is gonna get flooded out. We're all gonna, the swamp in front of McGuire's now is starting to fill up. And he needs to stop. That's been a drainage stream for, since World War II.
Roseman said he dug it.
And the
Yeah.
town runs their storm drain water into it.
And
So, I mean, it needs to flow.
Al Dolly said he had his equipment in there years ago, and he told me that he can't do any of that, he can't throw anything in there. But before.
Because it eventually runs, it goes around Oral Hall, then it goes down the hill. And ends up in Doneville Pond. So he's running a machine that has hydraulic fluid, diesel, oil, and eventually that water runs down into the pond, and it runs through state property too. Now, we had a meeting with DEP and Heather Summers and Tracy. And the DEP was there mostly because we believe some drainage on 165 is also adding to our water problem down the hill. But that's neither here nor there. But one of the DEP guys, we showed a video of him filling that in, and he said that's illegal. You can't do that. Al Dolly told me he can't do that.
Do you have any pictures of this?
I had video. We already sent it to Tracy. I have 2 videos from him doing
She
it 2
said she
different
followed
times.
it to the wetlands,
She said she was supposed to forward it to you. She's got the video.
and I do want to say she came yesterday with an engineer to look, because if they can't drain in there, they're gonna have to drain
Somewhere. You know, Lillibridge Avenue. If you stand in front of my house, you look up either direction, it's a hill.
They
And
all
it comes,
come down.
both sides come down toward me, and then the town drains it into that. Into
Which
that
they
gully.
have been doing. The old man at Oral Hall said they've been doing it for years, and he's, what is he, 80? He's 80. As long as he can remember, he said they were digging it. And Mrs. Jello said that her husband used to go clean out the other end, keep it flowing, so.
Do you have any idea why he's filling?
Why he's doing it?
Yeah.
'Cause he
Well,
hates
first
us.
off, I'm not one of his best friends.
Yeah,
He doesn't like Oral Hall. He resents the
all
fact
right,
that, you know, Oral Hall can actually use the
all
road.
right, all
Yep.
right.
You know, and they complain too.
So there's no practical expletive reason why this individual is putting material against the drain? It's just
No,
because you believe it's malice?
I believe it is. In my opinion, I believe it is.
So there's no practical reason, there's not trying to fix something, he's just simply making it
No.
worse, on purpose.
I was told by Tracy that there's nothing nobody can do because it's private property. That makes no sense to me, because if that's the case, you know, Paul McGuire would come in with dump trucks and fill that whole swamp in. But it's a swamp, you're not supposed to do that.
No, you can't do that.
No.
And it's, they
But
said
that,
it was a
with that
stream,
logic, that's what that tells me.
they said it was a stream in a ditch. So the selectman before,
Sapensky
Sapensky
called
said
it
it
a
was a
stream.
natural stream. and
Natural
you
stream.
Cannot block off a natural stream.
That's actually gonna be delineated by, we have the maps and everything else, we're gonna know what it is by looking at it, I don't know if you
No,
have. it
I've inspected the
formally.
area, you know, technically that area is wetlands.
So then, no, you
So
can't
it's
do it.
not, it's not something that they can work in actively.
So there's your answer, no, can't.
Well,
All right, that's all.
okay, because it is.
Because-
Not without, making a request through Wetlands Commission and us giving, our consent to that type of activity, so. Obviously, the agents are aware of it, and, I'm sure, you'll be.
Yep.
Doing what you need to
No,
do there.
I've talked with Tracy and, Tracy did say to me that she's talking with, we have an engineer that works in the town here to deal with drainage issues, and she has him or them on that, and they're gonna take a look at it and see if they can possibly fix, whatever's going on there. Unfortunately, like you explained, there's really, your property is at a juncture where the water's lazy, water's gonna do what it wants to do. And it needs to go into that trench, and it needs to go back
Down and out.
towards Ora Hall and
And down around the back.
down the way it's gotta go, so.
And don't forget, we got the water coming from 165, which used to be flooding the
With a fire.
firehouses. Used to flood in front of there.
Mhm.
Well, that water got drained down to us, and that needs somewhere to go. And right now, it's just getting stuck.
Mhm.
And it's bringing the groundwater up, and our basement is always wet.
Yep.
But I
So,
mean, regardless, I mean, even if, say, the town pulled out their lines out of there and they weren't draining in that, still, you can't block that pipe because it's still, everything else is still gonna flood the area.
Yep.
It needs to be
And
kept clear.
the town put that pipe in because we complained because it was getting backed up then, because it was an old, made out of rocks, old rocks,
Yep.
bridge. That's what it was. And it was all caving.
It was
in
all
back.
caving in. So at the time, the town came over and they cleaned it out, put a pipe in so it could pass through.
And it was running nice. They had a transit in there, they had it running nice past us. And it was working out.
One of the problems that happens is if you look at that trench that runs around the perimeter of Ora Hall. Every year you get leaves.
Yeah,
I understand.
Debris and sticks and, after a number of years, what happens is that builds up. And now instead of the water flowing over that stuff, it's trying to flow through that stuff. So those things need to be maintained, and I'm guessing
exactly.
that trench probably hasn't been maintained since it was
Not past our hall.
put in. Yeah, so that's,
And our hall's there.
that's one of the issues that's going on right now, so.
Our hall's at that parking lot is getting all.
Just as a point of question, that trench that runs around Ora Hall, is that on the Ora Hall property, or do you feel? it's
They own some of it.
Some of it.
Keith Burns owns some of it. I think the landowners, if you go down.
The line runs through there somewhere.
And then it gets to the fire road. If you go down there, you can actually hear it running. Down there it runs, you can hear it running down there.
Oh, I'm sure of that.
So it is an active stream once it gets down there. But I mean, the whole thing is that pipe can't be blocked. I think that's the number one,
Of course not. Yeah.
the number one
How big
issue.
is it? You know how big that pipe is?
It's a
12 inch,
concrete.
10 inch?
I don't recall, it's
Concrete.
so big.
Oh, so it's a big one. Okay.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, no matter what, it just can't be blocked, because even right now, even if it's not clean, at least right now, if a catastrophe happens and the water gets to them, it can still go somewhere. It still may get my basement wet, but at least it can get out of the neighborhood. But if that's filled in, it's gonna build up on both sides, and it's gonna be a real disaster.
Okay.
So that's all, Tracy came by and stopped and looked. And, did one of you guys happen to come down the road today?
I looked at it today.
Yeah, I know.
I was the guy in the big,
Yeah, I know.
great pickup.
yeah, but you didn't even stop and get out and look.
I didn't have to.
And you didn't even stop, you hardly put it in.
You didn't even put it in park. You put it
I said 40 seconds.
I was like,
and the time in and the
Numerous
time out.
times.
Okay, so that's, basically it.
Okay.
And I really appreciate you guys listening. I do.
Yep.
I've been at this since Willis Maynard. So this has been, for me, it's a long battle,
And they have tried, to
but
work with us.
that pipe cannot be blocked. That's the number one
To
issue.
fix that.
Okay.
Well, for the record, if you see it again, please film it. You see him stuffing it with whatever, take some pictures of it.
Oh, yeah, we had videos of them doing it on 2 separate occasions with a machine, not just, throwing in a few things. I'm talking about bag blading. He brought it back to him and he picked it up in the bucket and dumped it in. But Tracy's got the video. You guys can watch it.
Okay.
We sent one to her. We sent that. I don't know if we sent the other one the first time around. Where he threw brush in. There's quite a bit of brush on one side and then he threw dirt on the other side.
Okay.
So, and it's not by accident, I believe. Okay,
All right.
Alright.
all right, good.
Okay.
I just don't make a
Thank you
motion.
for coming in, guys.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Moving on, I'm gonna slide and skip